Hello, class. This is Matt Sutton coming at you from the Mary Washington Hospital. Obviously, Lindsay and I could not be there tonight because our little baby Kaylin arrived to us late last night. So instead of being able there to do my presentation with a certain amount of charm and charisma, I've just done a voiceover on my PowerPoint that I put together. The first thing I planned to do was actually take you to a clip that I saw from Cisco showing how flat the world is, but the internet access here isn't working too well, so we're just going to skip that. Chapter 15 talked about the unflat world. Friedman titled it "No Guns or Cell Phones Allowed," and where that originally came from was the idea that he's seeing signs now that don't just ban guns in certain locations, they're also banning cell phones because cell phones were also being used in a very dangerous manner, and inappropriately in the health clubs. And an interesting quote that I saw that I really appreciated from Sir Winston Churchill was that to build may have to be the slow and laborious task of years. To destroy can be the thoughtless act of a single day, which I find kind of summarizes up where the whole chapter is going to, and that it's taken us a long time to build up to where we've reached in the world, but we could all lose it in a single day. And one of the overarching ideas is in this chapter is about whether or not technology is good or bad. Um, Technology itself is not necessarily evil. It's just a tool that can be used to improve the world or destroy it. And cell phones is a good example of this. Or cell phone cameras. When you take a picture with your cell phone camera, it could be to record a great moment, such as the birth of your first child, or it could be used to take photos to cheat on tests or inappropriate pictures from the locker rooms, as Friedman points out as a few examples. Friedman himself was questioning about whether or not, what kind of a determinist he was. Does he believe that certain things are going to happen in a certain way in this new flat world that he's bringing about? And he does admit that he's a technology determinist and that capabilities create intentions. And the idea is he does believe that there is a certain direction that technology will go, and we will continue to flatten the world as we move forward in time. And that the more capabilities we create, there will be more intentions, we can create more capabilities, and certain things will happen a certain way. He, however, does not believe in himself as a historical determinist because he really admits he doesn't know where the whole world's going to go in the future. He cannot predict that the whole world will definitely become flat and that all technology will be used for good. So he can say that technology will continue to evolve and grow as we move forward, and that we need to embrace that change. However, he really admits he doesn't know if it will be a positive thing or a negative. And he does admit that the world is not flat, at least not yet, and that it may never be totally flat for a variety of reasons. Some of these reasons two of these big reasons involve the lower class being able to reach the middle class. When you're a middle class individual, according to him, it means you have the opportunity to either move up to the upper class or fall down and drop into the lower class, but you at least have an opportunity for change and growth. The lower class doesn't have that opportunity. And two reasons for this lack of hope from the lower classes: people are too sick. The individuals in third world and underdeveloped countries suffer from a variety of diseases like malaria and AIDS, which keep them poor. And because they're poor, they can't get access to the medicine they need that would heal them so that they could then make more money. So they get caught in that vicious cycle of, I'm sick, but I'm too poor to do anything about being sick, so I continue to be poor and continue to be sick. Another large reason for our problems is that governments are too broken, and that would be Kaylin in the background voicing her opinion on all this. Governments are too broken. A lot of poor and disorganized governments empower small pockets of the population to flatten, while leaving the majority of the rest of the country unflat. And we see that in every country, whether it's a completely underdeveloped one that has one major city or one area that has become flat, or countries even like in America where there are parts of this country that have become very flat and global, and there are other parts in this country that are still very much in the unflat lane. So one of the best solutions he pointed out is things that Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation brought forth called the Grand Challenges in Global Health. Bill Gates in 2003 said we should collaborate horizontally on defining the problem and solutions. Let's create value that way and then invest money in the solutions we define. And his idea was that we can bring everybody together on a horizontal level so there'll be more buy-in from all of those people. When one person steps up and says, this is how we're going to change the world and solve it, it's hard for everybody to believe that that one person knows what we're talking about. But if you bring everybody together globally on a horizontal flat realm, then everybody that participates in finding the solution will participate in actually making the solution possible. And one of those big aspects was that we've got to learn to use tools of the flat world to design tools to